Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So in this particular video, you're going to understand how you can work and master the art of list comprehension with Python for deep learning or any other data science work. Because list comprehension is the ultimate thing that you need to make your work really faster, smaller and efficient, and make it very short. So list comprehension is the ultimate thing you need to master any data science projects or any data related field. You need to work with Python, and this list comprehension, dictionary comprehension, is data structures and Lambda functions. So all of the thing I'm going to discuss in this particular video. And it is also really important for deep learning, machine learning algorithm, and understand other engineers code or other analyst code. If you can understand others code by watching different kind of YouTube videos or blogs or any other thing, if you want to really good at that, and seeing others code is also an art, if you want to be master at it, you need to see this particular video. So this video I'm going to talk about everything that you need to understand this comprehension with Lambda functions, with Jeep, and many other things that you need. So I have just opened a folder for you for Python list, and not only list, you're going to work with the zip, Lambda function, and any of this stuff. So here I'm gonna just create a new file called main.py file, and here I'm gonna write all the code that you need. You can see now I'm gonna check my Python version. So this is really important if you really want to work with it. So Python .this version, and it is giving us the Python version that I'm having, which is 3.9.5. Okay, so this is important, and I'm just pasting one numbers list of arrays, or in Python we call it list. Okay, in other programming language like JavaScript or any other thing, we call it an array, but it is a little bit of different. Okay, so they are not the same thing. In list you can have multiple different type of values, like a string value. Okay, like a string value, and we can have a boolean value, true, false, all of the thing. If we just print it and print the numbers, you're gonna see everything. If I just click run, and as you can see, it is giving us all the type of values, like numbers, strings, boolean, true, false, all of everything. So list can contain every single type of data structures of data in a single array or single list. So it is very useful. Now suppose I want to find here the even numbers. So I'm gonna write even dash numbers. And how can I do this? How can I find the even numbers from the list of information, so list of numbers? So that's why we need the list comprehension. First, we're going to use the square bracket. This is the comprehension, or this is the way we're going to do it. Then we're going to name a simple variable x for x in numbers. This is just a for loop. For all the numbers, you're going to iterate over every single value, which is x for x in numbers. Okay, and then we're gonna add our condition. So what is the condition? If x modulus 2 is equals to 0, then it will be even numbers. Okay, so first is for loop. This is simply just for loop inside this list comprehension, and then we have the logic. So what are the logic that we're going to use in this particular for loop? So give me all the numbers that is just even number, that is divisible by 2. So this is the thing that I'm going to write, and print the even numbers. And if I just run this, simple, this will give you all the even numbers. And if you want to change the logic, like if I want to divisible by, and if I want the modulus, the remaining value, to be 1 after dividing it, then it will give you all the odd values if it is not divisible by 0. But if you just turn it into 0, then it will give you all the even numbers. As you can see, all the even numbers. So now if I want to find the squared of every single value, so what we're gonna do? So squared numbers. So here I'm gonna use squared numbers. Similarly, x for x in numbers. Now here, this is the trick. Here I'm gonna use x for x in number for every single value. Here in x, we're gonna use power to the power 2 or square. You can use to the power 3 or to the power 4, but I'm just getting the squared numbers of each individual iterations of each individual values of these numbers. So I'm just giving us the condition here. What I'm going to do with each individual value, this is the variable. I'm going to add I'm gonna just find out all the squares of each individual values of all the numbers. So this is the simple thing that I'm gonna do in here. Now if I just print this square numbers and save this and print this, as you can see, it is just giving us all these square values. See, so every single thing is working really fine. But if I want the cubic values, okay, cubic values of every single iteration, that I'm gonna give you all the cubic values. Like first one is -5 cube is like 125, okay, and -2 cube is -8. So this is the thing that you're going to work on. You can do it for every single information. If there are thousands of values in these numbers, you can do it for all the values. Okay, so you can also do this very simply and easily. Then we're going to work with the transformation of the number. So that is the thing that I want all the values that is positive here should turn into a string value. So how can I do this now? How can I transform this? So I'm gonna write transformed numbers. Here I'm gonna put the condition. Here I'm gonna convert each individual value into a string if x is greater than or equal to 0. If the value of this information or value of the number is greater than or equal to 0, it means all the positive numbers. Then convert them into any string. Okay, and here you can write else operation as well. X for x in numbers. You must have to use this because this is a for loop for all the information. For all the iteration, you need to use this x for x in number. And here I'm just giving us a logic and just convert each individual value which is greater than 0. This is the logic. Okay, so you can put logic here. You can convert a type of your number for each individual values, and here I'm going to put in the logic here, what I'm going to do based on the conditions. Okay, so let's print this and transform numbers and save this. Here, as you can see, all the positive values are turned into a string. This is awesome. If I just change the logic, like if x is smaller than 0, if x is smaller than 0, it means that -2 and -5 should be turned into a string, okay, for x number. So let's check it out. As you can see, this -2 and -5, both of them are turned into like a string, and others are same as before. So this is a very beautiful stuff, how you can transform the data very easily. Now we're going to work with creating tuples and combining multiple lists. How you can combine multiple lists. You may have this kind of scenario in your real life projects or in real life work. So how can I work with it? So I'm just copying this stuff because I need that data to work on, and I'm just commenting out. Here we have a list of tuples. Tuples means that a simple Python data structure that takes, suppose, name, age, this type of work. Like here, name is Alice and age should be assigned with 25. Suppose this should be Alice, that would be matched with 25. Okay, so this is a simple tuple, right? This is a simple tuple. Now, and it will do it for all the value. For Bob, it would be 30. For Charlie, it would be this. If I just copy this stuff, and this should be 30, and so on. It will do it for all the values. Now, how can I merge all of those things? So let's write person info. Here I'm gonna write, because this is a tuple, I'm gonna take each individual name in this list along with their age in a tuple, and here I'm gonna use for name in names, right? And for age in ages. For ages is for this list and names is for this list. So I'm using two for loop. One is for name, one is for age. Age in ages, for name in names, for age in ages. So this is a single value, single iteration. This is 25, 30 and 35 because this is working in a for loop. And name would be individual name, and then second iteration it would be Bob, third iteration it would be Charlie. and we'll just structure this value like first it will take the name, and then it will take the first age 25 along with this alias. In second iteration, it is gonna take the second value of the name list, which is Bob, and the second value of the age, and the third iteration it will be Charlie, and it will take the third value of the ages list. So this is the way it's gonna structure. And here I'm gonna print the person info and just run this. So as you can see, this is a list of tuples. This is because this is a list comprehension. Everything should be converted into list ultimately, and it is giving us list of tuples. See, it is working really beautiful. Now I'm going to work with generate a list of numbers with range. In Python, you're going to see every places in for loop they have used range. Now many people find it hard because they don't understand what's the use of it. It is just a simple range of numbers from one iteration to another, from range like 2 to 25 in other thing. Numbers. Here also we can do it very easily. So x for x in range. Okay, in range sometimes we take the length of arrays or any other thing. So range actually takes two parameters: start, stop, and how many steps should I take. First start with 2 and end with 21. Okay, and take 2 steps at each time. It means that it will print 2, 4, 6 up to 20 because it will take 2 steps, 2 then 4 then 6 then 8 this way. Okay, so x for x in range this, and then I'm going to print generate numbers. If I just run this, see 2 up to 20 it will take. This is the beginning value, this is the ending value, and this is the steps. If I just take 1 up to 21 with 3 steps, it will print 1, 3, 5, 1, then it will print 4 and 7. This is stuff. So 1, 4, 7. It is 3 gap each from between each individual values. First is 1, then 4, then 7 up to 19. So this is the thing that you can generate. You can generate up to 2100 values for range. Okay, for each individual value. See, now see how big it is. You can generate so many numbers here. So this is a really important function, and you're gonna use it a lot in future if you really are into Python and data science field. Next, we're going to work with the flattening a nested list. This is a very crucial thing that you need to work on in every single Python projects, deep learning projects, or machine learning projects, because everything there is a matrix format and it is a nested format. So in 2D matrices or any other stuff or nested matrices, you need to work with it. So if I just copy this nested list and I'm going to work with here, test, just comment this out. So this is a nested list. In one list and inside we have 3 values. This is index 1, this is index 2, and index 3. So let's test it out. So we're going to print nested list index 0. So let me check what it gives. It will give you 1 and 2. See, 1 and 2. So this is one list. And if I want to print only 1, then you need to print 0. It means go to index 0 and print its index 0, 1, which is 1. This is the value that will be printed. See, this is the value that it is printed. And if I want to print this number 4, first we need to go to index number 1, which is this one, and its second value, which is 1. And now it is going to print number 4. So this is the nested list. Now previously we had to work with different kind of logic. Like if we do it without the list comprehension, what's going to do? Here I'm going to write for x in nested list and for y in x. Here I need to print the y. So let's check it out. We need to use 2 for loops here. So it's just printed, and see now it is giving us all the value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 6. So it is giving you all the values. But if I don't want to use 2 for loop, so what should I do? So here I'm going to use flattened list, and here I'm going to use list comprehension item for sublist in nested list, for item in sublist. First it will print it will go to each individual nested list for item sublist in nested list, and then this sublist would be inside this item. It means that we are first going inside the nested list, and we are just printing out this value, or this 1 2 and 0 1 and 2, and then it will go inside this sublist. This is an individual sublist, and print 1 and 2 and do it for all the value, and then it will iterate over this, and it will just go into the sublist and print 3 and 4, and ultimately it will go to the final nested list, and it will go into each individual item from the sublist and print 5 and 6. So first it will go this full list, then it will go to the sublist and give us all the informations. So that's why you need to follow for item for sublist in nested list, and for item in sublist, same as before. So the two for loop and this flattened list are actually the same thing. So here I'm going to use the flattened list, and this is very simple to read and easy to use, and for many beginners it would be really hard because they don't understand why this one line can do a ton of stuff. So that's the thing that beginner find it super hard. If I just print this, it will give you a flattened list. See, now it is not inside one list inside another list inside another list. It is just flattened into one single list. Okay, and now we can work with it very easily. Then we're going to work with zip comprehension with multiple lists. Okay, zip comprehension. So we're going to take this value again, and we're going to work with zip function here. So that is also an important stuff. So here we're going to combine list and use zip. To combine with list comprehension and zip is extremely essential, and in Python you're going to use it a lot. And here I'm going to use the same thing called person info. Here I'm going to use the name and age. Similarly, it will give you a list of tuples. So you're going to use this first bracket. Inside you're going to write key and this value because you're going to make it a pair, name and age. And inside here we're going to write it for names, for name, age in zip, for name, age in zip. Inside the zip function we're gonna pass all the lists. Here we're gonna pass names and ages, because zip contains list of iterable. You can pass name, age, heights, whatever. If you have a heights list, you can pass whatever you like. And you're gonna use for name, for age in zip. Okay, and you're gonna pass these iterables. Now what you're gonna do, it will give you everything like person info, like print person info, and just save this out, and you see it will give you a list of information or list of tuples. They are just pairing with Alice with 25, Bob with 30, and Charlie with 35. Okay, it will give you everything, name, age, for name, for age in zip. You just pass this name and age. Okay, just don't write names here. Okay, it will not work because you're gonna put all the iterable inside the zip function. Then it will just give you every single name and age, and you're gonna iterate over it and just print it out. So this is the way it will work. Now if I add one more stuff, like if I want to add heights, and here I'm gonna pass 165, 175 and 180. So these are the heights, and here I'm gonna simply just write height. Okay, in zip, name, ages and heights. And if I just print this out, it will give you name, age and heights. Beautiful. Just write all the three values, name, age and height, each individual iteration, because you're gonna need this kind of format for name, age and height in zip. And in zip you're gonna pass all the lists and it will give you the information. If you have one more list here, like their date or their salary, and it will be like $10,000, $20,000, and $30,000. It will also do it for salary and for name, age, height, salary in zip salary, and I think this should be named as salaries, then it will work beautifully. Okay, and then it will work just fine. See, it will give you a list of tuples of all the information. So we're going to do it for finding the eligible voters, and we're going to use the list comprehension as well as the zip. So just copy this to values, names and ages, and here we're going to type out if the user or if the voter is less than 25 years old, then he's not a voter. If he's greater than 25, like 30 and 35, they are the voters. So this is the logic. So like here I'm going to write eligible voters would be name for name, and then age in zip, and here I'm gonna pass the names and ages if age is greater than 25. Here you can pass logic here. Okay, name for name and age, and you're gonna pass every single name based on their age, because age is the thing that we're gonna filter it out, because that's the logic that we have. If the age is greater than 25, then it should be vote, he is eligible for vote. So now if I just print this out, eligible voters, and now it will just give you all the eligible voters like Bob and Charlie, and it will return us a list of string, because this is not a tuple. This is not the same thing as this one. And if you want to print the age as well, then you need to just work name and age for name, age in zips, and you're gonna pass all the iterables and give us the logic. If you want to just get the list of tuples, it's like Bob 30 and then you need to use it. Otherwise, if you want to return only the name, you don't need the age, then you can just write it here. Okay, so you can do a tons of stuff with list comprehension, and this is the thing that you need to understand, the power of list comprehension along with the zip functions. So they are really important. And now we're gonna work with our Lambda function, that is one of the most important thing in this Python programming, and also for data science field it is absolutely important. And Lambda is yet another super powerful higher order functions. In JavaScript we used to use map, filter of different iterables. We can iterate over and just do our operations. We can filter out some data based on some certain condition. We can sort them, we can transform them, and we can do tons of stuff. And what it does, it makes the code reusable, readable, especially working with the data transformation, feature engineering, and pipeline building task. You're gonna use it a lot. This is called also the higher order function. So let's test it out on what I'm talking about here. So in Python, you're gonna use function called add, and here I can pass some value like x and y, and you're gonna return x plus y. It will just add this thing. So if I just print this out, and here I'm gonna add 5 plus 5, which is 10, and if I just run this, so see, it is giving us 10 value. So it is giving us value 10. And also we can do it for subtraction as well, but this is the Python function way how to do this. But here we are just learning Lambda function. It can be also called as Lambda expression. Okay, it can be called as expression. So what it is, first is just const. Here I'm gonna use like add. This is the name of the function, you can say, and then we're gonna use this lambda, and here I'm gonna pass some value, and this is the parameter that it takes. If you have multiple parameters, you can do this, and it will return it will just add 2 parameters that we have added, like x comma y, and it will add x plus y, whatever you want. And if I want to print and add the in this function, it will just add 5 plus 10, which is 15. It will just work beautifully. Yeah, it is working beautifully. If we want to add one more parameter and want to add this thing, like 5, 10 and 5, which is 20, it is working really beautifully. If you have only one params, like instead of square, I want to get the squares of values. Like, how can I do that? This is your parameters. What I want to do, x, and I want this means that x to the power 2 that we're gonna get, and here I'm gonna change these squares. Here I need to pass the value, like I want to find the squares of 4, so it should be 16. See, it is working really fine. If I want to add the power, like I can change the parameter name, so number and power, so then it should be number and power. Okay, put any number which is 4 and 3. It means that number which is 4 to the power 3, it will work like that. Okay, so 4 to the power 3 is like, if I just run this, it is 64. And if I just write 2 to the power 3, then it would be 8. Right, it is working really beautiful. It works for any number. If I just write 5 to the power 4, it is working really 625. Now the most important stuff is how can I work with the Lambda function with higher order operations like map, filter, and sorted. If I just take this numbers as an input, how can I do this stuff? I want to find the square of this number. So squares, squared numbers. How can I do this stuff? First we need to map, that is definitely we have to do this lambda, and then we're gonna lambda, we're gonna take the variable or the parameter x. What I'm gonna do, and to the power 2, and here I'm gonna use this thing. So this is the operations that we're gonna do on each individual value. So this is the operation that we're gonna do on this parameters. And in the map we need to pass the iterable. The iterable is numbers. This is the inputs, so it's gonna take number 1, and it is power to the power 2, and 2 to the power 2, 3 to the power 2, 4 to the power 2, 5 to the power 2. So it will do this operation for each individual values. So this is the thing, the operations that we're gonna do upon which iterable based on those numbers. Okay, so if I just print this out, squared numbers, then you're gonna say this is a map object, and it is gonna return as an object. So what we have to do, we can just return it as list and wrap it with list, and then you're gonna see the number, and it will return us all the square values. So this is the operations that we're gonna do, and these are the iterables that we need to pass, and based on that mapping we are doing it. If we don't use this map, we cannot do this for individual value, or based on this list we cannot do this thing. Mapping is super important. If you have a iterables like this one, like ages, numbers, and list of any string, list of numbers, list of anything, you need to use map here if you want to do this operation for all the values. And the list is important if you want to return it as a list. Okay, so you can just, up to you, whatever you want to do. So this is for mapping. Now if we want to do this for filtering, similarly we can also do this for even numbers. We can do this. So for even numbers we're gonna do this same thing. Here we're gonna copy this thing, but instead of filter we're gonna do this, we're gonna use filter method. And in the filter method, our operation should be a little different. We're gonna take every single value x, and we're gonna use mod 2 if it is divisible by 2. If it is divisible by, this is our operation that we're gonna do it, and we need to pass this iterator or the iterable again. Just like in the map we need to pass the iterable, here we also need to pass the iterable, and do this operation for all the values, and based on that you're going to filter this and return us the as a list. Now we're going to print these even numbers. It's gonna work just fine. As you can see, 2 and 4, if I just write here 6, it will give us 3. It will give us this 3 values, which is 2, 4 and 6, which is divisible by 2. Similarly, if it is not divisible by 2, if it is remainder is 1, then it will just, if I print this, it will give us all the odd values like 1, 3 and 5. So let me remove this, and now we can also do this for names, and we can also sort this out. So if I want to sort all the names here and just comment this out, so here I want to sort it by the length of the string. So how can we do this? Okay, so sorted names, here you're gonna use sorted. So this is the way we're gonna do this sorting. And in sort, first we need to pass the iterable, as you can see, and then we need to pass the key based on how we're gonna sort it. And in this place we're gonna use the lambda function. So this is the use of lambda function. First you're gonna pass the iterable, and then you're gonna pass a key, and here you're gonna use the lambda. And here in lambda you can pass anything like x. What are the operations that we're gonna do? We're gonna sort it by the length of each individual string. First it will gonna go to this string, and it will gonna check the length of this, and then this and this and this, one after another, and it will sort it based on this operation based on the length of the string. Okay, so this is the logic here, and you're gonna pass the iterator. But in these places, in map and filter, you need to pass the iterator at the last, and first we have the logic. But in sorting, it is the first we need to use the sorted function and gonna input the iterable, and then in the key operations, in the key you can do whatever operations you want to like I want to sort it by the length of the string. And if I just print this out like sorted names, it will gonna sort it by their value. See, this is the smallest, this is a 4 character, this is 3 character, and this is 5 character, this is 6 character. So it is sorting by the length of the string. And not only that, you can also parse the last name, and for that let's check this out. We have the full name collections here, and just comment this out, and here I'm going to find the last name of the list from the full names array or full names of string. So like this is Master Shifu, John Doe, Jen Smith, and we need to collect the last name of individual iteration. So Shifu, Doe, Smith, and John should be our sorted names or the last name. So last names collection. So we want to get the last name based on list, and we can use filter or map, whatever you want. But here I'm going to use the map, and here I'm going to use the lambda, and here I'm going to use the variable like name split operator. Split. The moment you are splitting the name, and we need to split it by space. Okay, we are splitting this, and we need to just split it, and it will just convert it into 2 information. First one is 0 index is Jane, and Smith is index number 1. So for each individual iteration we need the second index. Okay, or you can do one more thing, you can use like last index. So -1 means the last index. So this one, so for first iteration it will get the last index, for second iteration it's going to get the last index, for third, fourth, and fifth. So for all of this stuff, full names, okay, as an iterable. And then you're going to print the last names. So if I just run this, see, Shifu, Doe, Smith, and Johnson. And we're gonna create one more stuff, which is age grouping. Okay, so for that we're gonna take this thing. Here we can take the age group or take the ages as an input and just comment it out. And here I'm gonna pass all the ages, and based on that we're gonna do some logic or filtering for age group in our data set, like young, senior, junior, all of this stuff, or adult. Here I'm gonna pass ages group, and here also we're gonna use this operation, so you can just copy this stuff, and this is the same thing. You can use filter as well if you want, but here I'm gonna pass the ages, and here I can pass parameter age, and here are the operations that we're gonna do. first you're gonna write young if age is less than 30, or age is less than 30. Okay, young if age is less than 30, else adult. So here if the age is 30, we're gonna call it this, otherwise this, upon all the ages. So this is the grouping that we're gonna get. So if I just print the ages group, and it will return as a list. And if I just check it out, young, adult, adult. So these are the things that it is printing out. So comment it out. Now we're gonna do the most important stuff, which is Lambda with dictionary and custom filtering. In case you don't know about dictionary, this is a simple like JSON object like format, like student name and key value pairs and their grade and list of information. For first student, this is the name, alias, and their grade. For second student and their grade, and for third student and the same. So this is the key value pair of the string. So here I'm gonna or do the operation of sorting again based on their grade. Okay, so based on their grade, we're gonna sort it. So sorted students, it should be first we need to pass the sorted, and here we're gonna pass the iterables, which is the list of these key value pairs or list of objects here, or list of dictionaries. Here we're gonna pass the key, and inside the key here we're gonna pass this lambda operations, and it should be student, and we're gonna do it based on the grade. So how can we get the grade? If I just go into student and here we're gonna, if I just use name inside this square bracket, it's gonna take this name property, which is, this is the key property, and this is the value. So this is the key or property, whatever you say, and name and grade, these are the two key value, and this alias is the value for the name, and Bob is the value for this key name, and grade is the key for these values. So if I want to just sort them based on the grade, then we can do this stuff. The student, just go inside each individual student and go to their grade, and based on that, or based on that key, so based on that key you need to sort it. Okay, so basic sorting here, nothing fancy here, and I'm gonna pass sorted the students, and here we're gonna see all the thing like name, Charlie and his grade, and then name, alias and his grade, and name Bob and his grade, because he has the highest value. First Charlie, then alias, and Bob. Okay, from lowest to highest it is, and it will give you a list of dictionaries. See, key value pair, key value pair, key value pair for all the values, and it will just give you all the sorted value. And now if you want to do custom formatting, like custom format, here you can write custom format, really important. For that you're gonna use list map of here you're gonna pass the lambda, and here you're gonna call it student, and here you're gonna just name it student name, and this will it will be, I can get it using the key property name, and also grade, and also we can get it from the grade. Okay, so first is the name of the student, and we get it from the each individual student, and they're accessing their key property name, and grade, and also accessing their key property grade. And then we have to pass the sorted names here. Okay, and then we're gonna, and for printing out as a list, because that's the thing really important, because you're gonna map all this stuff and do all this operation inside that and print this out. So print custom format. Okay, and now as you can see, name, Charlie, grade, all this stuff, this is for sorted, and this is for the custom format. The student name Charlie, his grade is this and this, like key value pair. So one more stuff is working with data frame. So if for that you need to import pandas as PD. So here I'm gonna import pandas pandas as PD. This is called the pandas data frame. So now you're gonna understand the why this is so important in data science and artificial intelligence or machine learning to work with the data frame. So in the data frame, we just call it data frame and panda dot data frame. Here in data frame, we can just name it anything like age. So this is the column value. In the column value, we can pass like 18, 25, 30 and 45. So these are the age fields. Okay, and then what we have, we're gonna have our salary field, and this should be having like 50,000, 50,000, 80,000, 120,000, okay, and 200k. This is the salary column. So these are the values, and these are the age columns, 4 values, and here we should also have the 4 values. Now to calculate the tax, okay, calculate tax based on salary. So how can we do that? We can create one more column using df and tax dash rate. So based on that, we're gonna work with salary column. Okay, we're gonna work on salary column so that we can apply some logic to it. So we are accessing the salary column here, and we're gonna use apply. And in the apply, we can use the lambda function and x, and here we can use 0.1 if the value x, which is this value or this value, it can be any value, it will iterate over each individual value. Suppose it is 50,000, suppose in the first iteration. If the x value, okay, is less than 100k, which is for 50,000 and 80,000, we're gonna add or apply on the 10% interest or 10% tax to this person if his salary is less than 100k. So this is the simple thing that we are doing here. Okay, else we're gonna use 20% tax based on his salary. So this is the actual real case on the data frame, what you're gonna do, and how we're gonna manipulate, how we're gonna transform, how we're gonna filter it data inside a column or inside a row, or and build a separate row. See, in the pandas data frame, we already had only age column and salary column, but we didn't have the tax rate column. Based on the salary, we're gonna make our tax rate column. So this is super important. Okay, and here we're gonna print the data frame. So let's check what is going on. So this is the thing that we call really important. And another thing is, if you have a age like age column or age lists, and you want to categorize based on the age, like here list map, and based on this age value, like young if the age is greater than or less than 30, or else mid-aged if age is less than 60, then he's a mid-age, and then else senior, and you're gonna pass this age. Okay, so and you're gonna print out this category, and see you have multiple logics inside single line of code. You can have multiple logics here, and you can filter it out and map all those things and give us a return list of all the values based on our logic that you have applied. So these are all the things that you need to understand Lambda with pandas data frame, and work with different kind of logics, filtering, transposing, the converting, sorting, using Jeep with list comprehension, using apply different kind of logics, and apply logics on dictionaries. So all of the things that you can do inside this particular video, I have showed everything, like working with dictionary and custom formatting, pandas data frame, working with map, filter, sort, all those stuff, and math operations, list comprehensions, and finding different kinds of information and filtering out, combining everything, and combining multiple lists, everything that you need to work on with the zip comprehension, along with list, flattening nested list, and generate list of numbers with range, combining tuples, and combining multiple lists. Everything is covered in this particular video. I hope in the next video you're gonna understand really awesome stuff with NumPy arrays and NumPy library, which is another really important video for you guys to understand machine learning, artificial intelligence in full brief. So till then, take care, bye bye. I'll see you in the next video with more awesome and beautiful content.